Off the Ball Podcast. Kid, live it, love it.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Off the Ball, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. Surely it is going to be an exciting episode. Kalibitso bampisa Edwin Pro Mashia Khomo Chetswa Thabang. Chele Pepper Chimushimane wa motlo mushimane wa pheta ka pejana. Mushimane wa go thatoga monyo ya re batswana go mona ba re se tshipopota ya mushimane se tshiletlapa senata se tswerere sa mushimane. Fela ga ke no simo tsetsi la go pieno fela jaaka gale tsena le banna ba ile go tabe re ntse ha mo tsetsi la go pieno le bone. Katso Cat Wakantoko.
Thank you for the love that you are giving us. Hatla senyana ho gona le like, gona le mo. Kana kwena motho a dunyana.
There's everything. They should continue supporting us on all of our social media platforms. YouTube, you want to go rating, subscribe, like, and also comment. That are also key. Give us feedback in terms of where we should improve, where we should add maybe something. Your favorite players sitting right here. Suggest on the comment section that is on YouTube as well as on Facebook. Off the Ball Podcast, that is our page on Facebook.
Yeah. Like I was saying, hatla senyana gone for gona le like, gona le subscribe, gona le bell. Just ring a bell to be part of the family, so that se se diranga time and again o khona go se bona well in time. O je monate o re rotloetse ha o khona nteng. Kalibitso ke Katso le pantsola la diski, the criminal one, never guilty, never charged, case dismissed. Let's get straight into it, bro.
The criminal one.
Bo here ba wena khwela dina. Agro gompe rena le ramatlhajana, the tricky ones.
Yes. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me take this opportunity to welcome our guest. More episode ya tsatsi la gompieno ke bua jalo ka one of the players, the greatest players the best ke le ba grazer yalo wa football fraternity ke mongwe wa ba ile gore ha o ka nna le hatse le bone o ka tsamaya jalo ba ha leina la Kidiboni. I'm talking about none other than a former Gaborone United player, former Orapa United player. He has captained BR Highlanders, Thabang Tlhotsapele. Thabang, thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of Off the Ball Podcast.
Mr. Pro.
Yeah.
It's such an honor, Mr. Kaho.
What a privilege to be sitting with you right here on the podcast.
Such an honor. Finally, that he has arrived. You said one of the greatest players.
Of course.
I wouldn't want to regard myself as one of the greatest players. But I would regard myself as one of the young boys we had the privilege or luck or to play for one of the greatest teams you get. But unfortunately, I'll probably say I didn't attain what I planned or what I wanted to attain. But that will be a story as we continue to talk. Right. But probably to the viewers, and like they have said, my name is Thabang Tlhotsapele. Born here in Gaps. My dad comes from Manyana and my mom comes from Hopong. That's who I am.
Right.
Like I was saying, I'm so excited to be part of this podcast.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Let's get your journey into football. Take us through it. Where did you start?
There's no stage that I've missed in football. I started my journey in a team called Manyana 11. It's a team. Like I was saying, I started playing for Ian La Liga. Yes. From Ian, I went to a third division team, Manyana 11, where I played for probably 6 months, just for a season. From Manyana 11, I was scouted by a team called Block 8 Superstars. It was on the second division. Second division, I also played about 6 months, I guess. From second division, I was scouted by Lisirani, which was in first division. I played, but the thing with first division, I wouldn't say I was pleased with my performance. It doesn't involve tactics. It's more about the physique. So I was very, very skinny, as you see me. Also, I was one person who wanted to play the ball. So in the first division, we're playing more the long balls. I ended up deciding to sit down without even finishing the 6 months. But after 6 months, that's when I went for trials to Gaborone United. I think we about 300 players who came for trials, and at that time we selected about the 3 of us, 3 or 4 players out of the trial. That's when I started my professional football now.
Right.
Yeah.
Before we can even get to your professional level, I know there's always certain people that always come to help us get to the level re desire go ka nna mo go yone. Talk to us about some of those people ba ile gore gongwe kana go yeo from Lesirane go kana from Manyana to Lesirane to even Gaborone United ne ba le key in terms of gongwe go thusa gore o tsamaye jalo o tlhatloga le career gago.
That's a beautiful question. Before we can actually involve people, I think the first step is simply to believe in yourself, to understand that you are a product yourself. This is where we are talking about personal discipline and also being able to encourage yourself. But in all that, starting from the lower divisions, there were people who always encouraged me to say, you're good, you can probably make a living out of this. So I was getting motivation from that. But I think the biggest step that I took was to honor an invitation that was given to me by a man called Stephen Mapos. Yes,
Vavo.
Bravavo.
Assistant coach at Gaborone United.
Yes. Bravavo, actually, I also played with Bravavo as a light. Like, no one teaming with Jamanyora then. So, it's the one who told me about the trials. That in fact, just go and try yourself there. Probably you will make it. But when I got there, I thought it was going to be easy since I was invited by Bravavo. No, brah. It was every man for himself. But the biggest step, like I said, was for him to say, come, there are trials. Come and try yourself. So, I will always appreciate him for that opportunity to send me an invitation for the trials. Yes, sir.
So during that time, your time at the trials, how was the feeling? How would you gauge yourself from that time? Would you say from the time you got to Gaborone United, you got to be a different player, and is there anything that sets you apart from other players, other football players?
Gaborone United from the beginning, in the terms of trials, it was totally different, because the people who came for trials, they came in teams. It was a group of teams. So I was the only individual who came alone, not with a team. I went to Gaborone United as a wing, but then I came alone. Remember that. So the team, they came with our players, the people that they know. So there was a team, so it happened, how God has a way of doing things. There was a team that actually did not have a guy who was playing as a seater. So they had no option but to ask for me to play as a seater. But I was not a seater. But I said, okay, since it's not a team, let me try this. What's the whole point? Yeah. Every team has been given 20 minutes. So it happened that I got in, I was playing as a seater. And after 20 minutes, the whole team, they were released, they were told that they should never come back. But I was told to come back tomorrow, of all the people. Wow. So now what are the coaches, they have seen me playing as a seater. Yeah. But now I'm a winger. You get? Yeah. The following day, the same thing happened. I got in another team. Now as a seater again. I was told to stay behind. Again. Yeah. And the other team were told to go. So this guy getting used to me being a seater. But naturally, I'm not a seater. Until the time of the final. So I was selected and I was given a contract as a defensive midfielder in Gaborone United. I had no choice but to adapt. I was playing alone the likes of Medisa Outsile, Gago, as a seater in the midfield. Yeah. But naturally, I was a winger. So that means a lot of things changes. Speed, I changed to be a dribbling guy. I have to do the basics. I have to pray by the center most of the time. No more movements, running with the ball, just passing the ball. So a lot of things shifted. You get a lot of things shifted. I guess to me, Gaborone United was supposed to be one of the greatest opportunities for me. But it tended to be one of the greatest lessons for me in the professional setup of football. I will say a blessing came in the form of what was supposed to be a blessing to me did not look like a blessing, but it was a blessing at the same time. There's a lot that happened to me.
What happened at Gaborone?
There's a lot that happened to me at Gaborone United, but when it started, it was beautiful. I was a young boy playing along the likes of Dirang, Jackie Motatleo, you know those guys that you've been watching on TV. Now you're sitting down, you can talk to them.
It's a dream come true.
It's a dream come true. But little did I know, the professional setup is not the same as the lower divisions. And lower divisions, it's about talent. It's about love. It has nothing to deal with the job. It's not professional. But when you enter into the professional setup of the church, everything becomes different. When you come as a young boy who has talent, they don't see someone who has any potential, but they see someone who has potential to take their job.
Who are those?
No, I'm just trying to be broad.
Somehow intimidated by you.
You understand? So when you come in the professional setup and you are good, young boy, they're not clapping to say, keep on working, but rather they see a competitor. You understand? And bro, I don't want to lie, in the professional setup, those guys, they can do everything to keep that job. Those guys, they can do everything to keep that job. So one of the things that happened to me was that I started to face a lot of opposition at Gaborone United. They were destroying my mindset. And I was a young boy, man. And like I always say, the mindset, football is more about in the mind more than in the legs. So a weak mind means a poor performance. So it started to be like I was facing a lot of accusations, a lot of persecutions, and I was a young boy. I don't have a strong mind. One of the things that influences your mind to be strong is how you were raised. Even as the way I was raised, you understand, I wasn't raised in a way that I have a strong mind or a strong heart. So I failed to bear the burden. So I started looking down, I lost the confidence. And there were times when, even today, there are people in Gaborone United who knows me as a thief. I was called a thief. Everything that disappears is me. A phone, Thabang stole it. You understand?
Yeah.
But to an extent that I end up getting to a point where the time came when I was given an opportunity to play. This was the time when I was dead mentally. Emotionally, I was drained by the way I was treated. Like I always tell people, what we are seeing on TV, what we are seeing on the pitch is not football. Football is behind the scene. Football is behind closed doors. What is happening on the pitch is only 20%, but 80% is in the secret. You get it? That's where I was destroyed.
So na re bona afana sa setlhabi go jiu ra go apala go thata go jiu.
Yes.
Re sa itse behind the doors we ra.
And I like the part, the mental strength.
Yes.
He keeps talking about the mental strength time and again. Gangwe le gape pro rena re bua ka khanya the mental strength ya batshameki ba rona ba Botswana now. You can tell from his story, Thabang. How was that really taking your game away from you?
Bro, football is a mind game. If you fail to stand against the persecutions, the trials, you'll never be able to offer what the coaches are looking for. Because here in our country, we don't have the mentality of installing professionalism to our players. We are a group of Kasi boys who knows football, but we are not professionals. This is why, as a coach, as a management, I'm paying you. I expect a result from you. But you don't care about my mind. Something that can make me to give you a result. There's no battle, bruh. The battle is in the mind. Everything's in the mind. But if you tarnish my mind and you kill my mind, I cannot give you what you are looking for. Strength, everything comes from the mind. Professionalism comes from the mind. Everything. But we only care about the feat of players, what they can offer. But we don't care about their mental strength. So if we can change things and work on the mental strength of players, teach them, put them in classes, install the professional mandate to them, the professional setup to them. I'm telling you, there are a lot of good players in our country. But some, they can't even perform because of their mind.
United. I'm more interested in whatever transpired at Gaborone United. You talked about persecutions.
Yes.
You talked about accusations. And earlier on, you mentioned if you're phoning camping, the first person to think or to come to their mind was Thabang.
Yes, sir. One, ke go letse go kasi. Ke go letse go tsola mosese. Ke le nyora, ke le jita.
So,
you get yes. But all this one day we were playing against Orapa United. We were away. So I go Orapa United naga sala and have fun.
Yeah, that is it. Go rap.
Yes.
Go rap.
This was back in 2019 or 2020, somewhere there. So I get salada. The kit manager said like abala kit. Habala kit or kit I mean hayo and haki. You get. It just recently I heard the story that the person who took my kit, but I cannot mention his name. You understand?
Yeah.
So just because I wasn't around, they took my kit. Abainela Masadi. So somehow skipper Samisabon Masadi.
Masadi?
Yes. Like I was saying, I can't mention the name. But
let's
say we are playing. Yes.
Okay.
Let's say we are playing together. Something like that. I've heard the story, something like that. You get. But I'm not around. But what's it? So the kick manager wants to late. Boss, can I skip a señaleta? And we are also research the more. Instead of sitting down with me to talk about this issue, they took it to the office. They got in and sit down to talk about this issue. In my absence. So they came out with a solution. The management, they knew what to do. The players, they knew what to do. So from that day on, everything sent the signal on Thabang. That thing was destroying me, man.
Let's talk about Onyelenga's keeper. The confrontation phase where you confronted enough the process ya go return kit after match day
There's someone that we hand the kit to, but the way I was asked, it wasn't professional. It was just through the phone call. You get? And then we started arguing, exchanging words. Because like, what? I didn't do that. But in our turn, till now, I'm telling you to an extent that there was a time I go BR Highlanders. I forgot his name. He was this guy that man do you see knows what I'm a thief.
The image is not gone.
But I can swear before God today. Bra, United. Even up to today. But 80% of people go United, they know that I'm a thief. And those are the things that were destroying my mindset. I couldn't enjoy the atmosphere was spanning. You understand?
But you Thabang growing up were you a thief at some stage?
I was going Lady Jita, Kilijita. Once what? I know how to protect myself. I know how to stand for myself. I know how to speak like Legita. You get?
Yeah, I get.
So sometimes people can just judge you by your association. Even the way you speak. One of the things that was happening in Gohabura United was that the senior players, they demanded respect, but they failed to differentiate respect and being feared. They wanted us to fear them, thinking that it is respect. No. Respect, you gain it. You understand? You earn it. I can laugh with you, but go respect. Not for me to fear you. So now, I didn't want to fear anyone. I wanted to stand for myself.
Yeah.
I wanted to defend myself. So in that way, respecting my senior players. So everyone had to turn against me.
No salanku ko rapa team buela Gaborone.
I wanted to have fun, and also I was still a boy.
But looking at the setup e teng go Gaborone United hela ne alawa gone gore player gongwe lo dulele ene mo Gaborone le match day go rapa go itekeng ebe player engwe sala go morago.
The player are reading alo. Why tell we are not even allowed to play Sunday soccer, but we still do.
Yeah.
You understand? I don't want to lie, man. Gaborone United is a professional team. But it's just that probably those who are above, they don't know what is happening inside. You understand? But there's a lot happening inside. You get it? But ke setse la ka bothata ba me ka bo gwa me hela. You get? Not that it's something solid.
Would you say you were a difficult person to deal with during your stay at Gaborone United Ghana?
Before he bilela ya raba pro, what I understand ka setup a rona hela mo Botswana ya di team. Bana le gore gongwe at times ba letlelela gore after game now we are giving you a day off. You can go and relax. We are training re tla kopana ka labokana go training. I believe gongwe ne le demo tsa but gape still besides that gona go ikopa ke dilo tseno ke tiro a ke re pro, you understand, gona gore nna ke na le se ke batlang go se kopanya ka kona.
Mono na sa ikopa o buile gore nyaena na itshetse ka tsana.
No. Tota ne ke itshalletse ka tsana. You get? Ne ke itshalletse ka tsana. O boditse potso gore ne ke le motho dingalo.
Go ya ka wena
Go ya ka nna.
Let's be honest.
I want to be honest with you. As people, we are people of many faces. The same guy who think, hey, like there's someone who think, this guy is a good guy. You get? We are people of many faces, to tell the truth. But with Gaborone United, I think the dark side of me was fed more than the good side of me. So as a result of this, I end up getting to a point where I'm like a mirror, I'm reflecting according to that character. They smile, I smile. They turn their back, I turn my back. Because I realized that I was alone. You get? I was alone. So, but I was damaged to an extent that I got to a point where I don't care anymore, man. You get?
Yeah. I mean, for every situation, a moment of truth always beckons. Let's talk about all these persecutions, all these accusations. For you, when did that moment surface, or high skate, this perception is still the same at some of the players by maybe the administration that guy?
I've never got to a point where things were cleared. My contract was terminated. And there were many things that were influencing the termination of my contract. One of it was that I was a thief. And even up to now, there are certain people who have that picture. Even if they can see that you gave your life to God, to them, when I can't get tap, I'm just a con man.
Yeah.
You understand? But that's the thing, man. You can't keep on justifying yourself to people. Don't prove anything to people. Walk in your lane. It's between you and God. You know, you can't force people to change how they perceived you in the past. You understand? But in short, there are people today who still knows that I'm a thief. Today.
And how does that make you feel?
I had to accept it. You know, these are one of the things that are actually strengthening my heart, strengthening my mind.
Yeah.
You understand? And when you hit at the heart for the first time, it will feel pain. You hit it the second time, it will feel pain, but not like the first. It's like it's learning a defensive mechanism on how to protect itself towards that pain. You understand? Yeah. So these things are there. They're in the mind of people. I can't make them to change. I can't live to please them. Let them have a picture about me. Like I was saying, we are people of many faces. The same guy who is a thief, there are people who have found God through.
So, TV, and let us be honest with this one. You stayed at Gaborone United hotels, le majitela sente sentle.
Yes, sir.
Ha iske ka tsatsi le pela o iponela hore e tla ikadimesela.
My bra, not even one day. Like Obolel, not even one day. Even in Gaborone United, I was staying with Velapi. Velapi, I stayed with him. He never complained about missing a thing. I've never stole a thing, go Gaborone United, from anyone. No, those are just rumors. In fact, Skebo gala itami. Skebo is one of the guys when I was in the downfall, like after losing everything, my contract, everything. He was the only guy who was there to support me. I'm talking about financially. Talking about being able to buy me stuff, to buy me clothes, to support me emotionally, financially. So, Skebo knew me. Even the times when I started to associate with Skebo. The rumors about me. But that's the thing, the beautiful thing about that guy, is that guy, you will never sit down with Skebo never. He wants to see for himself. That guy, I stayed with him. That guy knows the truth about me. Later, it got to a point on a 2 year. The same guys back some galo bona mo ga bro United. Ke bona ba nna ba raske ba re ke nna ke thubile mo ntlong ya gagwe.
Unzula uthia.
Ke le like to raske. And let me it's not a gossip. Skebo is the same guy le mo bona ntare kana like ta kana go nne dio tse di dirila no go te kwena, but I never told you. That's how Skebo is a good person. He cares about how you feel.
So of recent le go bona Skebo ntsa tla go bona ka khanye.
Kanti nerele kae? Oh, nanchikile go rap. Nanchikile go rap. Probably this year. Ebelo gona mpola kana di tele 1212. Ibile I was shocked mara kira aw like that. After these years, you go gona mpola lang khanye gona. You get. So even wabana rontan today, that people who still know what again na getsa rindo tsa scam. But you can't go back to prove your innocence. Sometimes the best way to fool a fool is to allow a fool to think that they fooled you. Just walk in that path.
Yeah, the people we deal with in this football, football will make it dummy and make it talk.
Yes.
I'm listening to you, man, and I listen to all these stories, and I look at your career, and I think, maybe one would say is the main factor holding success in football. How did it affect you?
When you started the podcast, you say something. You said I was one of the greatest players. And I tend to say, no, I'm not one of the greatest players, but I'm one of the young boys who got the privilege to play for the greatest teams. Yes. I was one of the luckiest people, but I couldn't offer to my full potential. Why? Because I was damaged, bruh. I was drained. I was drained. The only place where I found comfort probably is in BR Highlanders. That was a team that was full of love from the coaches. You're talking of a man like, who's this man? Assistant coach for Moyo, Mr. Blessing. That man is not just a coach, man. He's a father.
Yeah.
He's a father.
He's a blessing.
He's a blessing.
Yeah.
That man became a blessing to me. He's the man who called me. After staying the whole year without playing football. United. Until it's our monokai. You might get a pay. Until it's one one night. You might get a element. Kapaha, my brother, Yago be a Highlanders. Braille at an Kobola, Asuka Letal. Make it one, make a get a look at it, can I live 10 years retired? Oh, get it damaged, destroyed. Braille and Suga. Even when the league started, the first 4 games I didn't play. Until he started to introduce me, bit by bit, I got to my peak. Kasi wala gan na player ye ho peka lo mo gone le gore team zengwe ba planela gore late. It was because of that man.
You even became the captain.
I even captained BR. That's why there was love, bruh. That's why there was a family. Probably it's because it's a small team, but you see these big teams sitting in Alamadi. It's about competition. It's about a group of enemies who forget that they're enemies for only 90 minutes. They pretend for 90 minutes. Right. They just love you for 90 minutes. From there, it is done. You see, football, I've learned that football is a ministry on its own. It's a church. It's very spiritual. Football nowadays, you don't know these things. We are playing with people who have the ability to take your glory and do what you were supposed to do in that season. I will see you again, like exchanging your birthright. I've tried that. Yeah. It didn't work for me until I encountered God. You understand? I found that there's more life in God. Yes, sometimes in God you will not have anything to show, my guy, but you have something that is very expensive. You have peace. You have the presence of God. You have the glory of God. When they look at you, yes, you are not driving funny, nice cars. You don't have money. You don't have a big name. But you have a name that is greater than all names. The name of Jesus Christ. I have so much peace.
You have so much peace. Before we can even talk about your life after, I can hear your mission transformation there.
Yes.
Before I go transformation, ke batla go tlhaloganya his darkest time. Ke nako e fe na bona gore one tota go go ntshontsho, because we all know gore ba rialo ba re where there's darkness there's always light.
And whatever he experienced, the accusations, the persecutions that he experienced at Gaborone United, certain people, they tend to turn their back on you because and the family, man, maybe your friends, your girlfriends.
I love that everything changed. You know, this I want to talk to every parents. As parents, we tend to care more about that son or that daughter who's making it in life. And we tend to look down on those who are not making it in life. That is very wrong. When I was in Gaborone United, I was this boy that my family is proud of. Mo le gore mfeto nna ke godile Setswana. Me no ra ga daleng khona go tla ke tlhabelwa koko. Ke tumeletse. On tshwara. Ke tumeletse my bra. Le ko kasi. It was history. You understand? It was history. I was loved by everyone. But my bra, when I went all through this, my darkest moment was I got to a point where now I was depressed and oppressed, but I was still in football in Gaborone United. I couldn't stand this anymore. I lost the strength. And I was introduced. We were playing against Gunners. I think this was a semi-final against Ghana. Mazibuzane Zongo. You know, the blind.
Cream.
It was Muscom top 8. Yeah. My guy, I think it was on the first half. Then, I don't know if it is Alfonso or Gago, got injured. Yeah. He got injured. And as a result of this, Abansi, not that I'm mentally damaged. I don't even see myself playing that game.
On the dugout.
Yes. I'm just in the dark, bro. You get mo benching or aba winning gijele bona senyana ke gona court.
Bona se
No. Gona le bonus I win. No gona bonus I win go up in.
When are you about that's the work done and get
ke gona court by that time. You understand? My bro, that guy got injured in the first half. When they looked, I was the only person who can play as a seater then. I'm damaged.
But your mind says no.
My mind says no. My feet they can do, but my mind says no. When I was wearing my boots to do the warm-up, they say, hey, there's no time. Someone is already out. Get in.
Yeah.
I got in, bro. The first step, I was in the middle field. That was one of the days that haunted me. You know how good Huizo Nepoko is in passing the ball. He's one of the accurate goalkeepers. That guy pinpointed me. Bole lega head like bonar bole leke ye tlakan. Kore ugura wana bole tlanemo.
Kana go no confidence.
Ke sena save.
You're not even
Kore ke ipotsa bole leke be mosoroping kana ke be ha kana kore ke sambikere ga di sere ga betsa motwana.
No sa go se
No. Totana I was a good boy Monday to Thursday. The problem was the weekend. Bra, bolo la pesa motwana.
The problem was the weekend. I'm reminded of
the problem was the weekend. That was a good guy. I'm telling you. Bra, bolo la pesa motwana my bra. Ka ya ko mazibuzana zongo.
Yeah.
I can't even react to how press.
Yeah.
I'm too slow to think. Mazibuzana zongo tsabolo le bagana le mdala slash abuti slash. O kana ka ngkhonne bang. Mapezana. Hey, brala better one. Katela moteng. Katela moteng better shot better pal. Na go no. Ke be phela ke ratela modimo gore mo a better taike le so go yo tlhabana yo.
You're just a spectator at that time.
My bra, he did better pile kore that is how I was gone yano. I was gone. Diran tried to take me in. Atsa bola mpasa bolo ele tangere thata betsa motwani ke la tlhala toro ene nkgama kore ke sena confidence. My bra, when we went to the dressing room di supporter ga di ntshela bojalana ga mo go ga tlo buiwa mo thanele di ntshela bojalana yeah. Those guys, they killed me and destroyed me. When I got home, I called Vav, Bravav, terminate the contract. I'm done with football. He can bear witness to this. I'm done. There's a coach who said football can kill you. Yeah. Real death. My brother, I said I'm done with football. It didn't take long. My contract was terminated because of what? The results I displayed on that game. But if they could have traced it back to see that I was destroyed and tried to bring a solution, I was destroyed. That thing affected me for a very long time. I have to go back to my parents' house. I no longer support. Even the mother of my child left. But I don't want us to talk about that. But it just me being a football player, being a player also in girls, we are destroying Basadi Baron. Good girls. And the time when everything scatters, we want to go back and reconcile, but they're already gone. You understand? A lady have the ability to move on while she's still with you. Yeah. You get? So that's what happened. So I lost everything, the dignity, the name. Sunday sock. That's how damaged I was. And I decided to sit down.
Your life is like was all about termination. Your contract at Thabang United was terminated.
Yes, sir.
You went to Extension Gunners.
No, I've never played for Extension
No,
Gunners.
I mean you played. That's when your contract was terminated after you played against Extension Gunners at Thabang United.
Yes.
But you found a new life.
Yes.
A life that cannot be terminated.
Yes.
You found God.
I found God.
Tell us about that. How did that come about?
I love what you said. God is light. And light have the ability to hide in darkness. Do you see that we are drinking juice today?
Yes.
For this to be juice, it was squeezed. For juice to come out. It was broken into small pieces. We are clay in the hands of God, and He's the potter. When He wants the light to come out, He takes you to the dark. That's where God stays. God stays in darkness. When I was alone, you can study the Bible from the book of Genesis to Revelation. You realize that every man who was working with God, he was taken to isolation, to the wilderness.
Yes.
Moses was called by God in the mountain of God when he was leading the flock of his father-in-law, Jethro.
Yeah.
And God said, take off your shoes. It was between him and Moses. He was isolated. Apostle Paul was isolated. He lost everything. So that's what happened to me. But when the process was taking place, I couldn't tell that this is God calling me to Him. The book of Isaiah says, draw me nigh and we will come to you. Yeah. When God draws you to Him, He's a jealous God. He scatters everything and make you to focus on Him. So probably there is someone who's going through the same. He feels like nothing is working out. That is the time when a blessing of God, it doesn't look like a blessing. That is the time when your answers are coming but not packaged the way you are expecting them. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness. And there was darkness. But God said, let there be light. Where was the light coming from? The light was coming from darkness. Light have the ability to hide in darkness, but darkness cannot hide in light. Yeah. So finally, one day when I lost hope, it was on the first week of June. When I lost hope after losing everything, even the mother of my child, I was in my room. I wanted to kill myself.
Suicidal.
Yes. I was drained. That's when I had an encounter with God. He appeared in my room. It was June, but the temperatures in my room started to change. It was burning. I was sweating. I opened the windows. I was burning, bruh. I heard a voice. The voice was telling me to see. When the voice said see, I saw my life if I accept the calling of God and if I don't accept the calling of God. From that moment, I started saying, if I don't pick up the call, for 3 hours from 12, it started from 12 until 3. After 3 hours, I ran to my father's room. I was naked. I ran to my father's room. I wanted to kick the door of my father because I was a madman. I was mad because of the things I saw. My mind could not perceive them. I didn't have the capacity to bear the encounter. It was so strong. I wanted to kick the door of my father. I heard a voice for the second time. He said, don't kick the door, make a knock. I knocked 3, scientifically proven. That is the time when someone is deadly asleep. But I knocked like this on my father's door. And And my father responded as if ke ragile lebati. A re, "Ke ba?" When he opened the door, he found me walking in the room. If I don't pick up the call, naked. He said to me, "My son, what's wrong?" My father, "I'm going mad." Time I'm going to tell my son, "Go back to your room. You're not going mad. We will talk in the morning." When my father said, "Go back to your room," it was like God was giving me an assurance that in the morning I'll still be alive, because I thought that I was dying. When I ran to my room, I seated on my bed. I heard the voice for the third time. The voice was telling me that, "My son, the same way you knocked in your father's door and he opened a door for you, it was representing what was happening in the spirit. I, your father, have opened a door for you. Never look back." When my friends came in the morning, they found me speaking in tongues. Drugs.
No se tsole bo rakatakataka shaka shaka.
Lipra haso sekedias. My brother, they found me speaking in tongues. They found me in prayer. One day I had an encounter with God and my life shifted. I'm not saying everything was restored, but I was given something that is very expensive: peace. Those that come unto me, I shall grant them peace and joy. They said I was going to come back, but that day turned into a week into a month a year, years, even up to today. I'm now fully serving God.
Wow, and amen.
I'm now
Just like that.
just like that.
Whew.
Just like that. And God wants to raise men in football industry. There are 7 prophets that God is raising. Some of them that are in the entertainment industry, football, music. He wants to raise men who will achieve something that none has ever achieved. But you know what? We are blinded by idols. We don't realize the one who gave us the gift. God is the giver of gifts. And if we can trust him. I'm a football player, but I don't sign in a team that I want to sign in. I signed by purpose and assignment. When I went to BR, all the players and the coaches, they gave their life to God. It was an assignment.
So by the time you signed at PR, this has already happened.
Yes. Now the assignment was starting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when I got to BR, there was a church also that I was ministering in. Assignment. Everywhere I go, I went to Orapa United. I was led to a certain church and I was leading the church. I was led to BR and I was also part of a certain church. I don't sign because I want to sign. I sign where God says assignment is there. Now I'm in gaps. Why I'm in gaps? I'm not playing for any team. Because God said in the season, I want you to focus. There was a conference that I was doing. I'm done with it. Now I'm waiting for the next chapter where God is going to send me.
Are you a preacher? Are you a pastor? What are you?
I'm a man of God.
You're a man of God.
Yes, I'm a man of God under entertainment industry, football. Like I was saying, we don't have the professional mindset that football can be a career. But we find it okay for you to be a lawyer and be a man of God. Why can't we find it okay to be a football player and be a man of God? It's because of our mindset. We don't take it as a profession.
Right. Well, I'm moved by your words. And closing, looking at all the circumstances that you went through, looking at all the people that you worked with in this industry, your football, and the life that is ministering, what can you say about our leaders in football, our football, as the players, let me say just football in general?
Football, we are talking about the players, supporters, management, the coaches. Let me start with the players. Football was designed to become one of the language that is understood by all. It is to bring unity and love. But we have lost the definition of football. Let's take competition out of our mindset. Let us see people who meet because of the badge, with one goal, under the foundation of love. Let us understand that the gift of football was given to us by God. And let us appreciate God for the gift. To the coaches, I want to tell this to the coaches. I want to say this to the coaches. Not mentioning any name. Coaches, they're doing a beautiful job. We are who we are because of them. But I want them also to change their mindset. Our coaches here, they want an end product, not a potential. You understand? They want an end product. They don't look at the potential. If today I hit the post 10 times, and then you score 3 goals,
I'm the man.
you are the man. But they don't see the potential that I kicked the post 10 times. That means I made good runs 10 times. You get, if only you can work on me, I can give you 10 goals. But when they want the end product, I'm paying you, give me the results. You understand? To the management, let us allow the coaches to do their assignment, to do their purpose. You are a general manager, you are a vice chair, you are a chairman.
Ask about Pikalutli national coach.
Yes, let the coaches do their purpose. Because if you take in a new coach, I think the best thing is that when you take in a new coach, introduce the new management. You can't come in as a coach. You'll be like a president who's trying to run a country with an older cabinet.
Are you coming back for football, Kana Bohedil?
It's not yet over. I'm still cooking on something with God. I'm trusting God for something. There's an assignment of God that have to be done internationally. But it is in His hand.
Is this in line with football?
Yes, it's in line with football. Like I was saying, I don't sign where I want to. I sign where the assignment is.
Right.
Yes.
So Trawa oversees that. Yeah. Tibe, thank you so much for your time, my brother. There's a lot to talk about. Great stories. I mean, we've been inspired by your words. I think someone else out there is also inspired, learning something from your experience as a player.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for staying with us right here on today's episode of podcast. It's been a privilege and honor hearing from you.
The honor was mine, sir.
Yeah.
I go one and Tata today. I was
I
really touched. No, I was really touched by his story. Thank you for being here and grace the moment and share whatever you shared, because it has touched me personally. So I get a changed man from now on. Bro.
Thank you so much as well at home for tuning in to today's podcast. Continue supporting us on all of our social media platforms. That is Facebook, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Give us the feedback in terms of what you think we should improve. Let me also take this opportunity to thank everyone who has been supporting this podcast. That is from our partners to you, the supporters, this Distinctive Brand Media for supporting this podcast, M Zone as well as AM Glam Space, as well as Obsession Lounge for giving us the space to shoot this podcast. You also have the space in this podcast if at all you want to be part of this podcast. If you at all you want to help us grow, you can come through, hit us on all of our social media platforms and tell us how you want to help us so you also can grow from this level. And Zayafana and Kisafana. Aduleha Aileuka. That is God for you.
Yeah. Yeah, hear it, live it, love it.
Until we meet again, goodbye.
Off the Ball Podcast. Hear it, live it, love it.